Up to 15 years in jail for receiving bread and water. That's the punishment for people living in pro-Russian regions in case they accept any humanitarian aid from Moscow, according to a new Ukrainian law. RT's Roman Kozarov brings us the details from Mariupol.
Ukraine has passed a new so-called collaborators law on August 16th, making anyone in Ukraine who accepts humanitarian aid from Russia a criminal. We are now in Mariupol at one of the distribution centers where people come to receive this humanitarian aid. The new law makes all these people potential criminals, and we've talked to a few of them, and they shared their opinions with us about what they think about the new law.
Only terrorists could pass such laws. It's inhumane to leave a person without water and food in such hot weather.
It would be better if they helped people, but they only insult and humiliate us. If it wasn't for Russia, we would have starved to death.
My homeland at that time, Ukraine, did not help me, while Russia provided assistance to me and my children. When my kid got a loaf of bread, he was more happy than when getting ice cream.
This humanitarian aid center in Mariupol is fully loaded. It even has a children's center right here where kids can play while their parents are receiving the much-needed humanitarian aid. Now, this particular center used to serve at least 7,000 people per day at the peak of the conflict back in May, for example. The numbers are much lower at the moment because the situation here is not as dire as it used to be. However, at the moment, with this new law in Kiev about collaborationists, and Kiev still considers these people Ukrainians. Each one of these people receiving humanitarian aid is a suspect, including their kids. Roman Kozarov, RT, Mariupol, Donetsk People's Republic.
Labour and human rights lawyer Dan Kovalik says that providing humanitarian aid is a responsibility of the countries involved in the conflict.
I think it's absurd, and I think it's wrong, obviously. I mean, how could bringing humanitarian aid be collaborationist of anything that is considered condemnable, right? I think we should encourage people to bring humanitarian aid. I think we should encourage Russia to bring humanitarian aid to Ukraine. Why would you create a disincentive to doing that, even to criminalize bringing humanitarian aid? International humanitarian law, as best exemplified by the Geneva Conventions, but others as well, requires to provide the necessities of life for the people: food, medicine, water. That's the whole point of humanitarian law and the Geneva Convention.